Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron, where last episode we managed to defeat the Golden Horde. They have capitulated, and now we are fighting Tajikistan. And these guys, they got a little bit cut off. So they're on their way over here, and we're just making our way to this fallback point. If these guys end up not actually surviving, that's fine. That's not the end of the world. So at this moment, we do have this push going over here. I want these guys to be pushing over this way as well. I'm just going to manually order a push over here, and we'll see what ends up happening. Over here, these guys are automatically pushing. So that looks good. Samarkand is going to fall right about now. And the question is, do they capitulate immediately? No. Also, Z16 is in this and is apparently the faction leader. Z16 is out over here. So that's awkward. We might have to do like a naval invasion on them. I'm not entirely sure how that's going to go. So the fall of Samarkand is, of course, great for us. We do need to grab this territory out over here. It's undefended. Just get in there. There we go. That'll be fine for now. And then Golden Horde does still have this territory out over here. And that's absolutely noted. So this is a pocket now at this moment. And I want to grab these guys. They can come in here. And I want to grab these guys. They can come in here like this. And then you can push in like that. They've regrouped over this way, unfortunately. We can attack here. There we go. We got that back. That was actually infantry that did that, and that's absolutely fine. Get in here, tanks. Get in here. The tanks aren't interested in getting in here. Okay, we'll have the infantry get in here. Are they interested? Actually, yes. The infantry are interested. Cool. So we'll get the infantry in there, and that seems good. Now, I want to grab this offensive line over here, and this needs to be redrawn. So at this point, this offensive line is simply push to the very edge over here. We can't go down beyond this. Presumably, this is impassable. Yeah. So that's okay. We'll just start going in over here. Okay. So there's Tajikistan's units over here stack wiping. Perfect. And these guys will need to be redeployed onto here, but that's part of the other infantry army group. That's fine. They can hop over here. Okay. So that's absolutely a-okay for right now. As we can see, we have lost a few units. I think it's these out over here. Yeah. So these guys, they did lose a couple of infantry units. I'm not too concerned about that. It's unfortunate, but it's not the end of the world. So we'll continue to push in over this direction. Supplies are an issue, especially up in the north, and that is understood. We'll get these hubs motorized up. They don't have the best of connections to our logistics network, and that's not terribly surprising. I wouldn't mind getting some rail upgrades over this way. So if we were to upgrade that like so, we could upgrade this over here as well. That gets us into this 5 network, and then we could build up like this. And then that connects us into, I think this goes into our main trunk. Yes. Okay. So we can do something like that, and that will decidedly improve matters as far as our supplies go over this way. I'm also interested in upgrading this out over here for sure. And then that goes into our main trunk. Cool. So that looks good. We'll get that underway, and we'll just continue to push in over this direction. So I want to change our infantry front line here, or rather our infantry offensive line, and that is... Okay, Kandahar is not in this. Okay, I just wanted to double check that. That is going to be not there, but rather on this side of the impassable terrain, because we're going to need to push all the way through. Okay, that's also impassable terrain. Understood. We'll just do this for now. Very awkward terrain out over here. So that's absolutely fine. I'd love to push in over here, and let's see what happens if we do that. Okay, cool. So that's fine. We're definitely going to make our way in here. And this army group is this unit down here. Okay, so I want an offensive line, but I want it to be these guys specifically. So we have no divisions assigned here. These are from Army 10. So I'm just going to have these guys get directly assigned to be down on this side. So their goal is to come take back all of this territory out over here and to push to this border, ideally. Approximately, anyway. So that's not a lot of units there, but they are going to be working on that. So that seems fine. Looks like this became a little awkward. I don't know why. There's impassable here, but we weren't trying to pass it. Whatever, it's fine. There's only one division assigned to this and only one division assigned to this. Let's grab this entire army. Half of them are going to be assigned here. And then the other half... Okay, let's grab all of the army. Half of them assigned here and the other half here. There we go. So that'll be fine, and we'll just continue to push in here. Now, Turkmenistan? No, Tajikistan. They're about to capitulate. So that's absolutely wonderful. They capitulated. Okay. So this section of the war is over. Golden Horde still has a little bit of territory up over here. We have some forces semi-nearby. I'm going to have this tank division come up over here and be assigned to this, with their goal being to offensive line out over here, just clean up this patch of territory. So that'll be fine. They're going to be on their way over there. The majority of our troops aren't going to have orders. Where are you guys going? Oh, okay. They're going up over here. Why don't you not for now? Okay, so I want to grab one of these armies, and it's going to be this kind of smaller army right now, because we need to invade here. So I'm thinking about invading... I'm just looking at our naval base setup over here. Why don't you guys just wander on over to here for right now? And then we're going to build a naval base here. Okay. So that'll be fine. We'll just need to get our troops over there and get that first level of naval base built. So we do have these armored divisions, which are going to go here. And then we have these armored divisions as well, apparently, which are going to go here. And then we have these infantry divisions. And these are actually... I'm going to grab 3 of these. They're going to... No, 3. Half, and then deselect. There we go. And they're going to go here. And then these guys, they are going to go here. Okay, cool. So that seems fine. And, of course, we've got all of this underway. Just drive on in here, grab this. There we go. Now, this war isn't going to be over for a little while. We need these guys, who are currently on their way over here. They're going to need to go to this naval base once that naval base gets built. As of right now, they can't. So they're just on their way over here, and they'll arrive in the eventual times. And all of these units, in fact, need to be traveling to here. Okay. So once they get that done, then they're going to head to Apulia, and they're going to plan a naval invasion from, and we're going to get that started now, from here to here. Like that. The real question is, can we invade that, or are we going to need to land on Corfu first? I don't know. We'll see. But this is the only location that we need to attack. So to that end, I want to not be doing convoy escort. I want to be doing patrol. And I want to remove all of these areas. Yeah, you should be operating just in the central Mediterranean. Perfect. Naval supremacy is not terribly high over there. So I'm going to move these guys out of these areas. They're going to head to the central Mediterranean Sea. They're going to patrol in the central Mediterranean as well. Okay. So that seems fine for right now. It will, of course, take a little while for this to prepare. 89 days, and they need to get into position. So it's going to take them some time for that to happen. So over they head, and that seems good. And we'll just wrap up this war, and that'll put us in a good spot. I'd like to start cleaning up some of these little guys next. I'm also tempted to attack these guys. There's definitely some border gore from them down over here, but I'm definitely interested in continuing to push eastward more than anything. But I want to clean up some of the border gore out over here, out over here. There's definitely some work to do down this direction. But that's going to bring us into conflict with the French. And the question is, do we want to do that? We probably could take the French. We definitely could take the French. The question is, do we want to do it right now? We'll see. For the moment, I think our best bet is probably to start working on like areas like this out over here, taking over like the Ottoman Empire. That wouldn't be a bad idea. We could do that very easily, assuming nobody interfered, which is maybe a bad assumption. We shouldn't assume that no one will interfere. But at this point, we've got about 50 days until this invasion is ready to go. So that seems fine. We're just going to chill here, and we can start thinking about what we want these guys to be doing, right? So I'm going to have like one of these armies be down here, and one of these armies be over here, like this. And then I'm going to have our tank army group be over here. And then I'm going to have our infantry army group be over here. There's way too many forces here, but it's fine. I just want them to have somewhere to go. But not these guys. These guys are still assigned here, and that is correct. Okay, cool. So that's all absolutely fine for right now. The real question is anyone going to interfere as we start cleaning up border gore? I don't know. That's going to be very interesting. No doubt. Oh, wow. They've got a lot of divisions here. Okay. I'm going to take half of this force. And I'm going to move this out into a new army. These guys are now ready to launch. And I'm going to launch from the same location, and we're going to attack Corfu this time. So that'll get started. These guys are ready to launch. I don't expect this to work. Yeah. But look at this. Corfu appears to be undefended. But yes, this is definitely not going to work. No shockers there. So I'm going to have all of these guys be assigned here. And that's going to take a little bit of time before that's ready to go. If we can attack Corfu and take that, we're going to be in a bit of a tough situation here because we're going to have to cross this strait. But we can build a naval base here, we can build defenses here, and theoretically we can make it very difficult for them to push us off if we're able to get there in a reasonable time frame, right? That's the question. Can we get there in a reasonable time frame? I don't know. That'll be interesting. But for right now, all we can do is wait. So that is absolutely understood. I want to check in on our resources. Minus 313 steel. Okay, that's not too bad. We can get a lot more military factories put to work, which is, you know, exciting. So there is that, and we're just going to continue to work on these guys getting their additional naval base levels over here to supply them up. So that's absolutely fine. We've got about another 50 days before we can launch our invasion of Corfu, and we could launch this with a smaller group, but we would have no way of getting reinforcements to them until we manage to build a naval base here. And the main problem with that, of course, is that we can't build a naval base when we're under attack. So they could just continuously attack us at Corfu, and we would not be able to hold it. So that's definitely a significant concern. Now, these guys, they're going to go in here eventually, but I'm actually just going to put them into a new army for now, and we're going to put that in like this. And they should be down here. Okay, so something along the lines of that. Cool. So that all looks good for now. We're going to launch this attack as soon as it's ready, and I do want to give this a commander. That's going to be, sure, this guy is fine. So we're going to launch this attack as soon as it's ready. We don't expect any resistance on Corfu. It looks undefended to me. But holding it could be a whole nother kettle of fish. We're going to have some supply from that victory point, but it's not going to be much. Not until we get a naval base there, which takes 30 days of not being attacked to build. So that could be exciting. That could be very exciting indeed. This would be one of those situations where we'd like to have Marines, because Marines can be in a situation where they can be out of supply for a while. But we don't have Marines, and I don't feel like training them. So I suppose in case we do get pushed out, we could train up a few Marine divisions. So that would be like 8. How about? Something like this. And I only want to train one of these. So we'll get that going, and their location can be like right up over here. We need to actually be connected to our capital. Sure, this is fine. Okay, so we'll get that going as kind of a backup plan at this moment. Here we've got some extra armored divisions. Perfect. And the real question is, what happens with Corfu? Because this is now ready to be deployed. But they're not deploying it. Why aren't you going? Do we not have the naval? No, we've got the naval supremacy. I don't know why these guys aren't launching their attack. They're claiming that they're unable to move to a province along their path. Yeah, this is... I'm going to stop the execution and restart it. Oh, this is owned by Ionian Islands. This isn't owned by Z16. Okay. Never mind then. I assumed that it was the same owner. It is not. I should have noticed that this isn't red. So that's not a viable option. And I also suspect that landing here isn't a viable option either. This is going to be a tough nut to crack. Unless we invaded Bulgaria. That's a potential option. But they're an integrated puppet of France. That would put us in conflict with France, which I don't want to do right now. Now, I don't expect that this landing operation will be successful. We could also fight the United States of Europe. That is an option. We could push in over here and push down to Z16 like this. Those are the only two ways that we can get to Z16 on land, unless we were actually to fight the Ionian Islands. We could start justifying on them. And just return back to the original plan. It's an interesting idea, for sure. And we'll just get these tanks up here. That seems fine. The real question is, how does this invasion go? I don't expect it to go very well. So there's that. We are going to want to have these Marines probably very soon. They're going to be ready in May. Okay, so 2 months on that. That's not too bad, actually. So that seems okay. I'm going to launch our attack out over here. I don't expect it to go very well, and even if we succeed, I expect we're going to get pushed out of here, and these guys are probably going to get stack wiped. If that's the case, that's the case. It's okay. We don't actually care that much. So if we look at the war losses here, we can see we lost about 2 million in this war, and our opponents have lost almost, well, 5.5 million. So our justification of conquering the Ionian Islands is now finished. We don't want to declare war on them right away, because these guys will likely move out and garrison Corfu as soon as they can. So what I want to do is I want to wait on our Marines, and our Marines are going to launch an attack on Corfu. That's the goal here. So our Marines are going to be done soon. I want them to be fully trained. 29 May. So we're looking at approximately 2 months here. Slightly under 2 months. Okay. I don't want you to execute this. We're just going to wait on that. This is how far away? About 20 days? Yeah. So we'll get the Marines set up here. The Marines are going to plan an invasion from the same location to Corfu. Actually, I'm going to start building some naval bases over here in Cosenza. Okay. So we're going to build here, and we're going to launch an invasion from here to Corfu. We're going to prepare that invasion. It'll be ready to go, and then we'll declare the war. That's the goal here. So that's absolutely fine. We just need to get Z-16 out of this war, right? And Ionian Islands are, I think, the way to do that, as I look at this situation. They only have 2 divisions, and their 2 divisions are here. I don't see any divisions here. So that looks good. Here's some infantry at this moment, and they can go into this unit. Perfect. So that's absolutely fine for now. And there's our first level of naval base in Cosenza. So that's absolutely ideal. Now what we need is to get these Marines finished. They're going to be done currently on 1 June. That actually got pushed back a little bit. Interesting. Okay, well, that's still fine. It got pushed back by a couple of days. Sad, but not the end of the world. So 17 May at this point. So we're looking at about 2 weeks until these Marines are done. That looks great. And we're going to immediately get them into an army and start them planning the invasion of Corfu. That's the goal here. So any moment now, they will finish up. It is 25 May, so we've got like 6 days. They're at 95% training. Perfect. They'll be deployed as level 2, so that's, you know, something. And they're about... Okay, it got pushed back again to 2 June. Okay, now they're going to start finishing up here. There we go. So that should be all of those Marine divisions. So these Marines are going to hop into here. They're going to get a new army, and this guy will be in charge. We're just going to plan an invasion from here to Corfu. And that is going to take 42 days to be planned. Okay. So it's going to take them some time to move into position. And not 42 days. It's not going to take them 42 days to move into position. But we want to wait to declare this war and to launch these invasions until this is ready to go. So we're going to try this invasion of Z-16. I don't expect it to do very much. In reality, we'd be better off to be attacking here and here with this force. But that was not the plan when I set this up, and I don't want to redo this preparation, because at this point, we're a little late on that. So if this doesn't end up working, then the plan is to launch this again, with this being a diversionary attack here and here. But the main problem is that this is going to widen their front line. They will garrison Corfu the moment they get the opportunity to. I'm almost certain about that. So that's understood. We've got about 15 more days until this invasion is prepared. So we are absolutely going to declare this war then, assuming that our war goal doesn't expire. Where's our war goal notification here? We're at war. We don't have a war goal. It did expire. Okay. So that's going to take 30 days. That's unfortunate. Our war goal did expire on us. I know it expires pretty quickly in Horde, but I'm surprised it was that quickly. Well, we'll get that going again. So that's fine. It'll take us 30 days to get that done, and we've got 20 more to go. We're now ready to launch this as soon as that justification is finished. So we've got another 15 days to go here. Any moment now. But this is going to be potentially spicy breaking into this. It's going to be very interesting. I don't know how we're going to pull this one off, to be honest. We might have to end up going for, like, nukes or something. I don't know. By the way, this is all part of Ionian Islands up over here. So this is areas we're going to have to invade. That's fine. I'm not too concerned about that at this moment. We just need to be able to get in here, right? So this is going to be in 1 day. It's done. So now we're going to declare this war. And we're going to launch both of these invasions simultaneously. Now, they're almost certainly going to move in over here. Surprisingly, they haven't. So we got this position. We need to immediately begin building land forts, and we need to immediately begin building a naval base here. I do not want to attack, because they are going to immediately start attacking us here. And you can see we lost this. The question is, can our Marines hold this position for long enough? And I'm kind of a doubter on that. They're just going to continuously attack this until they wipe our Marines, I'm betting. So we can't build while there's an ongoing battle here. But this is the purpose of Marines, is being able to hold out in positions like this. But they can just continually attack here, and I'm betting that's what they're going to do. Although we did make some progress there, but yeah, look at that. We're beginning to stack wipe already. This is going to be a tough nut to crack. Well, we'll see if we're able to hold this, but it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we'll see what ends up happening over here. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, Spock, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video. And as always, I will see you all next time.